Hi everyone, Gail here with Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay, and we're the mid-August. Today I want to talk to you about the journey of your life, and it is because it's just so important. This 2020, we have had these massive changes. Your life has changed, even if it hasn't changed in everyday ways, it has changed. For some of you it is your job, it is your relationship, it is your money, it is that life is not the same for you, it is not comfortable. And for a lot of us it's not the same simply because we are needing to be careful again, and we're on top of it, but we do need to be careful again, and it's tiring, and it also puts pressure on you. There is one thing about change, it happens to you all, it is, or to us all, it is that we go on a journey during our lives in different ways, sometimes more than one journey that we go through. The whole world is going through this journey. We're all doing this together, of course in different ways, and it affects us different personally, but it is the beginning. Change has happened. You have been in maybe a dark place. That is about having to look at yourself, your resources, what you're capable of, what are you going to do now, what is life going to look like for you as this progresses through. And this is an atypical thing with every journey that we go through in life. We have a period where we feel the change, where an old part of our life dies and comes to an end, where it's finished, because there is nothing more from that part of our lives that can help us in the future. And it is that for you in your life there is more. For you in your life there is something to discover, and it is calling you to go on an adventure. There is this aspect of your purpose, if you like, that you don't remember, but the universe pretty much personally and individually will at times in your life give you a little nudge that, things maybe need to change. This isn't kind of working out for you. It's just, I don't know, it's just got nothing more for you in it. And that is literally when the universe is phoning you. They are wanting you to pick up the phone. First thing you'll do is go, I don't want to, because you don't want to change. And that's pretty much natural. That is actually pretty much everybody, whether it's for an instant or a long time. But the universe never gives up. The universe keeps ringing. And if you listen to those first little nudges, they could be just like a little tickle, and the changes can happen quite smoothly and easily. If there is that you aren't listening and you're not getting it, you're not doing anything different, then what happens is a sledgehammer. And it's pretty much what's happened to the world. We haven't listened to the way the environment is kind of being damaged by everything that we're doing in the environment. And so we are now facing, look at yourself. This is the next stage. Look inside. Look inside you. It can be that you're in a dark place, and that's perfect. There are things to learn about yourself. There are difficulties to overcome. If you've got barriers about moving forward or doing something new, look at why those are. Look at what's caused those in you. There are experiences in your life that have been traumatic, difficult to deal with, and you are being called on to look inside, to discover, to overcome any of those, to dare yourself, have courage to be and do other things. And this is where the adventure starts. So you might feel this separation from what was in your life and how your life was to now, and what will your life be like. And that kind of thing, you can't actually grasp immediately. So it is a very inner journey first, being with yourself, giving yourself a bit of space and a little bit of time, and then you're ready for the next part of the journey. And you may be afraid. Look at what your fears really are. What are they really? When you face your fears, these barriers, when you face them and go through them, it's difficult to not let your imagination come into it. Stick with the facts. Look at what's real. There's something in the process of fear, though, that you actually, through going through that, you actually go through a doorway. You find there's this little space, and it's when things move. And you have this magical kind of component that comes into your life. Like you'll meet somebody who just wants to help you, who just wants to be there for you, who may not even know you, but just might have a suggestion, or they might just be talking in conversation about something, and you go, oh, actually, that sounds interesting, or that makes sense. That makes the penny drop. Or it could just be practical help, and in practical ways that helps you along a little bit more. What comes after that, though, is a series of kind of like challenges maybe that you have to face, that you deal with one at a time. If you just deal with things one at a time, they tend to just manage themselves the rest of the way. The difficulty is dealing with emotion. As part of this component, emotion is huge because it involves everything that we thought we were, how we identified with ourselves, and that's altered. So it's like grasping a little bit at finding out what's left and what, you know, what you're made of. So it can be a little bit lonely, but it can also be very unclear. You have had this clarity in your life because you're just doing what you do. Now it's like, what do I do? And then it's, what can I do? And where is that? And how do I start? And how do I carry on? And there are challenges along the way. So think of it as an adventure, because this is the adventure part of your life. You first go through separation, then you go through initiation. Think of it as your initiation into a more growing up world, a more spiritual world, a happier world, a more fulfilling world that you are part of. You also have your purpose. If you have been living your life and things change in your life, and we know that everyone in the world has had this. However, personally, if this has happened to you in the past, it's because you're being called to do something. The universe has said, we need you. We need your skills. We need what you can bring to the world. The world needs you. We need you. And we want you to start discovering what that is and finding out all about yourself so that you can bring it to others, to help others. So it is, look at it as an adventure. It helps make it go more easily. And it is absolutely an initiation that you grow into yourself through. There is a lot of looking at yourself, deep inner work like we've talked of, and then you have to have the courage. It's like it takes a bit of courage just to take a step, just to do something, just to carry on from where you are. And we all have it, even if you don't think you've got any courage because life's beating you down, you've got it. You just got to maybe dig a bit deeper for it. And sometimes we're not given a choice. Sometimes it's do that or what? Do that or stay feeling miserable and sad about yourself. And that's not a nice place to be. So there's always there's always help around you. The universe, when it calls you, supplies the people that can help you the most, the places that will give you the best go at it, give you information about yourself that you didn't even know about yourself. So this comes in all different forms, and we've got the internet, so lots of different things. If you feel like, oh, I just want to go look at that, because that's the universe saying, hey, there's something here that's interesting to you that you can use to identify what you're here to do. And you know, we have all been used to working 9 to 5, and our world is changing, and guess what, we're working, a lot of us, from home. We have been, some still are. It's not that great, but it's not that bad. It's different, but it's a bit of a journey and an adventure, just the same as our life is. There is the other aspects. Sometimes you feel like there's no help for you, and it's like but everyone else is getting on with their life, or they're too into their own lives and they have too much to do, and you're on your own, and it's like you have to grapple with this yourself. And that's kind of true, because you're going to find the super person inside you, the one that hasn't been beaten down by what people have said, your environment, your family, you know, colleagues, whoever. You've got to find the real you, the person that has the strengths, the abilities, the gifts, the uniqueness that you bring to the world. But only you can discover that. No one else can tell you. They can maybe give you hints about, oh, you're good at speaking, you're good at writing, you're so clever. Listen to all those comments and take them on board, because people don't say things that aren't real when it's a compliment, generally. Not unless they're just going, oh, you'll be all right, or yeah, no, you've got something to offer. It's a lot more than that. So we talked about, I'm not sure, I've had to redo this video a few times because I made it too big, and so I've had to chunk it down a little bit. It might come in bits and pieces. We are on Radio Kidnappers. It is a community radio. And I'm attempting to do this. I have done it before, but it's not been working too well this time. I ran out of space, and I'm not clever with gadgets, unfortunately. There is, in your journey, there is a place where you get rescued from yourself, your life, your situation. It happens in every journey, every time. And there's also that magical component that comes in. You go through certain tests, and you go through and you learn certain things, but mostly to learn about yourself and what you're actually capable of and what your strengths are. And of course your abilities, like we've said. So it's a little bit magical. It's almost as if coincidences, synchronicities, all those things, they come into play in this area. There's the circle that you travel. This is the circle you travel, and we start at the beginning, which is the change, which is the call from the universe, and we go through all these stages I've talked about, and then we come back to where we started. So sometimes, like I just said in the previous video, you come back and you meet people from the past, and that means you've come full circle, and your opportunity is to see it from hindsight, see how it fits, and know it won't ever fit. Your old life will never fit, because you've changed too much, you've grown. It's not meant to fit, but it is helpful to you to be able to bring back what you have learned and who you are back to people that you were in touch with in the past, back to a familiar setting. It gives you it's like a big reveal on, this is how your life was, this is where you are now, look how far you've come. And it'll amaze you every single time at how far you've traveled. So we all have a map of the journey that we go through in our own personal lives. I help you with that map. I help write that map out as I see it from the information that I get from the universe, from spirit, from bits and pieces that I gather in intuitively, psychically if you like, and from all kinds of other areas, and from things that you say, so that it actually then a map can be drawn for you of where you're going and where you'll, and it's where you'll end up, but the map and the track can change, but everyone has a map. And I'm just going to say change. Think of change like this. You were a child. Well, actually, you were a baby. And then you grew into being a child. And so you could never be a baby again. And then from a child, you grew into a teenager, an adolescent. So you could never be a child again, nor did you want to at that stage. And from an adolescent, you became an adult. And you didn't want to be a teenager, but maybe you missed those days of being able to be a teenager. When you're an adult and you take responsibility for your life, your adventure and your journey, you will no longer feel a victim. If you are feeling a victim right now, accept your adventure. Accept that you are responsible for how you will travel through. It is up to you, and it is something you are capable of, because we are never ever handed anything that we cannot cope with. That's just a law. It's a rule. It's whatever you want to call it. What else will I say about here? There is this thing in life. It's like, and I'm like, I'm all for an easy life. I'm all for an easy life and for things because they can be handled effortlessly and easily. And like I say, if you take that first little calling or nudge from the universe that's ringing, if you take the first one, second one, third one, then those changes will be much more easily, much more easier to navigate. They will just happen more naturally. If you wait until the sledgehammer, yeah, can take some time, and can take quite a bit of time. And then you have to be patient with yourself for your process. But if you understand you're always on a journey, this is the beginning of the journey. It's full of fun, adventure, scary stuff, challenges, but you will become the hero of your life. You will become happy and fulfilled and at peace. And on that note, blessings to you all. Take care, and we will talk again in September.